The Nepal Red Cross Society has urged people to donate blood to save the lives of people suffering from dengue, which has already taken an epidemic form in the country. The appeal comes at a time when Nepal Red Cross Society is facing difficulty in meeting the increasing demand of blood. Good morning, I'm Abhyuday Shrestha and these are the headlines of the hour. Lawmakers at both the houses allege the government of turning deaf ears in controlling dengue fever, blood banks running out of blood deposits as dengue infection continues to rise. Chief of Army Staff Purnachandra Thapa discloses personal property details. Other Army officials under moral pressure to do the same. The UK publishes the Operation Yellowhammer document, says riots on streets, food price rises and reduced medical supplies real risks of the UK leaving the EU without a deal. And Nepal to clash against Uzbekistan at the grand finale of the Nadezhda Cup currently underway in Kyrgyzstan. Match scheduled to kick off today at 3:45 p.m. Nepal time. Let's begin with the national political updates. At a time when dengue fever has already taken an epidemic form, lawmakers speaking at sessions of both the houses of the federal parliament have alleged the government of remaining indifferent. Parliamentarians of both the ruling and opposition parties who spoke at the meetings of the House of Representatives and the National Assembly yesterday alleged the government of turning deaf ears in regards to controlling dengue fever and also urged the government to initiate control measures at the earliest. Saying the number of patients suffering from dengue has increased at an alarming rate across the country, they also demanded the government to update the parliament regarding government efforts to contain the disease.
सामान्य ज्वरो आउँदा पनि डेंगू नै भयो कि भनी चेक गराउन आतिदैछन् जनताहरू। यसबीच सरकारले गरेको प्रयासमा कहिले कतै कमी हुँदैछ कि सरकारले आफ्नो तर्फबाट सक्दो कोसिस गरिरहँदा पनि समस्या बढ्दै गइरहेकाले सभामुख मार्फत डेंगू रोकथामको लागि नियन्त्रणका लागि प्रभावकारी उपाय सहित प्रभावकारी भूमिका निभाउन अनुरोध गर्दछु।
Members of the National Assembly have also alleged the government of lacking seriousness in controlling the spread of dengue. Likewise, the lawmakers urged the government to control black marketeering that has been increasing with the approaching Dasai and Tihar festivals and also drew the government's attention towards setting up and managing discount stores. Meanwhile, the Nepal Red Cross Society has urged people to donate blood to save the lives of those suffering from dengue. The appeal comes after increasing demand of blood units and shrinking repository. As dengue reduces the number of platelets patients need to be infused with blood, based on a data by the blood bank, 80 to 100 units of blood are being consumed every day since Saturday. This is twice the number of blood units that the blood bank provided earlier. Of the three types of dengue, the hemorrhagic fever dengue reduces blood platelets drastically, which can be fatal. According to a data shared by the Epidemiology and Disease Control Division, 1,170 people from Kathmandu have been infected by dengue. The dengue virus has killed 6 people so far and infected more than 8,500 people across 56 districts. We'll take a short break here. We have more news coming up. Welcome back. Within 1 year since assuming the leadership of the Nepal Army, Chief of Army Staff Purnachandra Thapa not only published his own property details, but also expressed commitment in taking necessary actions against any Army official with wealth disproportionate to income. The initiative is surely welcoming. However, it is yet to be seen whether the Army Chief will be able to execute his commitments and whether it will include investigations on retired Army officials who have been linked to financial irregularities in the past. Chief of Army Staff Purnachandra Thapa disclosed his property details in front of potential Chief of Army Staff on Tuesday. If Thapa continues to present his property details for the remaining 2 years of his tenure, anyone can evaluate the increase or decrease of his properties. While the initiative is commendable, it is questionable if his successors would display similar ethics. In the past, the Nepal Army used to collect and save details on wealth of its army personnel and officials at the Central Archives. Last year, a change of rule enabled respective office heads to keep records of the Army's personal wealth. The provision has been changed once again, making it mandatory for Army officers to present their property details at the Army headquarters. Since the change, Chief of Army Staff Thapa has already initiated action against 171 Army personnel involved in irregularities during Army admissions and against a Lieutenant Colonel, 3 colonels, and 27 others involved in other cases. The report from the Office of the Auditor General has expressed concerns on the increase in irregularities and lack of transparency in large development projects undertaken by the Army. The Constitution allows the Commission for the Investigation of Abuse of Authority, CIAA, to investigate into former Army officials. However, the anti-corruption watchdog is yet to start its investigations. The CIAA hasn't made any efforts to investigate into former Chief of Army Staffs and other officials who have been allegedly involved in irregularities in large construction projects and procurements. Experts say that while the Chief of Army Staff can initiate investigations on retired Army officials, constitutional bodies must also be equally active to investigate corruption allegations. Every year, the Nepal Army mobilizes around 1 trillion rupees. This includes 40 billion rupees from the state coffers and 35 billion rupees from its welfare fund. And it's time now for the international update. A British government document has said riots on the streets, food price rises and reduced medical supplies are real risks of the UK leaving the EU without a deal. Ministers have published details of their Yellowhammer contingency plan after MPs voted to force its release. It outlines a series of reasonable worst-case assumptions for the impact of a no-deal Brexit on 31st of October. Labour leader Jeremy Corbyn said the paper confirmed Prime Minister Boris Johnson is prepared to punish those who can least afford it. Michael Gove, one of Johnson's senior cabinet colleagues who has been given responsibility for no-deal planning, said revised assumptions will be published in due course alongside a document outlining the mitigations the government has put in place and intends to put in place. However, ministers have blocked the release of communications between number 10 aides about Parliament's suspension. The government sought to resist the publication of the Operation Yellowhammer document, but lost a vote on the issue in the House of Commons on Monday prior to the suspension of Parliament. The 6-page document, dated 2nd of August and leaked to the Sunday Times last month, warns of disruption at Dover and other channel crossings for at least 3 months and increased risk of public disorder and some shortages of fresh food. We have more news coming up, but right now it's time for another short break. Welcome back. In our Public Voice segment, we had asked the locals in the Eastern District of Ilam what should be done to control the risks of disasters. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
Public Voice.
समयमा नै यसले बजेटलाई चाहिँ हामीले कार्यान्वयन गराएर विकास निर्माण काम गर्यो भने यसलाई न्यूनीकरण गर्न सकिन्छ। दिगो विकास सम्बन्धी अवधारणालाई अगाडि ल्याएर यसले वातावरणमा के असर पुर्याउँछ भन्ने कुरा चाहिँ ख्याल गरेर मात्रै त्यस्ता विकास निर्माणका कार्यहरू गर्नुपर्छ। हेभी इक्विपमेन्टहरू जेसीबीहरू प्रयोग नगरी नै अरु नै सामग्रीहरूबाट विकास निर्माण गरियो भने केही हदसम्म यसलाई न्यूनीकरण गर्न सकिन्छ।
And it's time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
And here's the question. What should be done to investigate on the wealth of retired Army officials? Your options are A, CIAA should be active, B, form a separate committee, and C, assigned to Department of Money Laundering investigation. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B, or C, and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. And it's time now for the sports news.
Sports News.
Nepal plays against Uzbekistan at the grand finale of the Nadezhda Cup currently underway in Kyrgyzstan. The tournament decider will kick off today at 3:45 p.m. Nepal time at Karakol Central Stadium. Uzbekistan progressed to the grand finale as winners of the league stage, while Nepal secured its berth in the decider as runners-up. Of the 3 matches, Nepal won in 2 while losing the odd one. Having secured a thumping 8-2 victory over Kyrgyzstan in the first match, Nepal had suffered a 2-0 defeat against Uzbekistan. Nepal sealed its place in the grand finale after brushing aside Tajikistan 1-0 in the third match. Nepal and Uzbekistan are playing against each other for the second time at the tournament. Uzbekistan had crushed Tajikistan 12-0 and remain undefeated at the tournament. Nepal has taken the tournament as its preparation for the upcoming South Asian Games. Prosecutors say they were detained in raids in Belgium, London and Monaco yesterday and today. The raids are connected with an investigation into the €8 million transfer of Serbian striker Mitrovic from Belgian club Anderlecht to St. James Park in 2015. Police and tax officials raided properties with an agent detained in Monaco along with his assistant, who was taken into custody in the Belgian city of Liege. Officials say these latest arrests are not linked to an inquiry into suspected fraud involving transfers during the 2017-18 season. A statement from the Belgian prosecutor's office said that the facts involved notably money laundering operations and private corruption in the context of football player transfers. This second wave of raids follows the first operation, which took place in April at the headquarters of RSC Anderlecht Football Club and the Belgian Football Union. And now, before wrapping up, here's a look at the top stories once again. Lawmakers at both the houses allege the government of turning deaf ears in controlling dengue fever. Blood banks running out of blood deposits as dengue infection continues to rise. Chief of Army Staff Purna Chandra Thapa discloses personal property details. Other Army officials under moral pressure to do the same. UK publishes the Operation Yellowhammer document, says riots on streets, food price rises and reduced medical supplies real risks of the UK leaving the EU without a deal. And Nepal to clash against Uzbekistan at the grand finale of the Nadezhda Cup currently underway in Kyrgyzstan. Match scheduled to kick off today at 3:45 p.m. Nepal time. And that's all for the moment. Keep watching Kantipur Television HD for more news and entertainment. Thank you for watching. Have a good morning.